Does he swim over there at the depths as well?
Yes, he does. I also swam here with him.
Whoa, he stood up. He is huge.
Once he came across an anthill, climbed it in, and he was so happy. The bear starts his bathing season as soon as the snow starts melting.
Hello guys, my name is James. I was born in Russia and I live in Moscow. I just opened my channel in English and uploaded second video about how I visited a giant bear in Russia. The video turned out very interesting. Please watch it to the end. Before watching this video, please subscribe to my channel, and next week we are preparing an exciting series of videos about how we visited a hermit who has been living in the Russian forest for 6 years. Guys, we are starting right now. Enjoy your viewing. I would like to introduce Andrew. Some of you must already know him. Andrew is a very interesting person. Let him tell us his story himself. Hello, Andrew.
Hello.
Will you tell us when Mansur showed up and how it happened?
Mansur has been living with us for 6 years. He turned it up at the airport when he was several months old. It was in April. We arrived at the airfield and saw a little bear cub running around. The airfield staff had found him on a runaway a few days earlier. The bear was still quite small. He was fed with a pacifier. At first, we tried to place him in Pazhitnovo, a rehabilitation center for wild bear cubs. However, the bear had already contacted people and treated them like friends. So the experts say they could not rehabilitate him as he was friendly with humans. Thus, the bear cub stayed with us. Then we tried to place him at some wildlife reserve, as we were aware that it was a wild animal. Keeping a bear was by no means part of our plans. It's a pity, he was not welcome anywhere. No one needs bear cubs. They are used as toys while they are small, and their adult lives are generally very sad. That is, they find themselves at hunting dog training stations, some poorly kept zoos. Circuses and zoos are full of brown bears, so it's really hopeless. Our attempt to place him in a wildlife reserve park proved a failure. We were deceived. The bear cub was taken to a hunting dog training station. Thanks goodness, we realized it right away and we took him back. As a result, he stayed with us, as there was nowhere to go. We decided to build the entire infrastructure for him, to provide him normal living conditions. So, we have organized the semi-free conditions for the bear. It is probably the only place of this type in Russia. In Europe, this is quite common. They are full-fledged rehabilitation centers for wild animals injured by humans. We hope that this pattern will gradually become more common in Russia as well.
Why did you call him Mansur?
The name Mansur was invented by the owner of Orlovka airfield in the Tver region, where the bear had been found. This man comes from Altai. Mansur is an Altaic version of the Russian name Mikhail.
Mansur, it's like bear in Altai region, like Mikhail.
Which is a common nickname for bears in Russia.
Initially, the bear was in the Tver region. Today we're in the Kaluga region.
Yes, he was originally found at the Orlovka airfield in the Tver region. And when he was nearly 3, we took him to the Oreshkovo airfield near Kaluga, where we ourselves moved.
I mean, the bear was found near the airfields and still lives near the airfields. Real air bear.
Yes, Mansur the air bear. Several security zones have been arranged here. Thus, any part of the enclosure can be serviced. The enclosure is partitioned into 2 parts. Besides, there is a container, which is also blocked. That is, the bear can be isolated, let's say, in that enclosure like he is now. The gate is closed and people can't work without contacting him.
He has so many things here.
Come on, I'll show you.
We're entering the enclosure, aren't we?
Yes, we're now entering the enclosure.
Guys, that is safe for me because Mansur on the other side. So guys, it's a historical moment. We are in Mansur's enclosure.
There is a pool over there. We are also building a grotto with a waterfall.
Whoa, large-scale construction. That's amazing.
You can see a play area built over there.
Does he climb there?
Yes, when there is no construction in progress, he moves around freely. Both enclosures are open. He can go to the forest park, or he goes to the play area. Or he swims, if he wants, so he enjoys full freedom.
He's watching. So huge. This is live boy.
Yes, the live buoy is already broken.
Does he swim over there at the depths as well?
Yes, he does. I also swam here with him. There is no heating system in the pool, so it's cold even in summer. The bear doesn't mind, but for a human.
Whoa, he stood up. He is huge. He is huge.
You are our handsome man,
He is so huge.
Mansurka.
He is monitoring us. Whoa.
It was amazing. First we built this small enclosure. He used to walk here. Then we built this big one. I wish you could see him when he entered it. He was hilarious. So many emotions. He ran up and touched each and every tree, smiling. They say bears have no facial expressions. Rubbish. They do have them. And they are quite obvious. He was smiling. Is it all mine? He wondered. We built up a cabin and arranged a lair in that area.
Does he enter the cabin?
It is in the cabin that he slept. He brought hay there. When we built it, we expected him to break the cabin very soon. Disassemble it into logs within a week. Nothing for a kind. So he began to sleep there, hide from the rain, brought hay, and spent the winter in this cabin. We made a pile of logs. A local cat had kittens in this pile.
She must have considered it a safe place.
Yes, next to Mansur.
Mansur. Whoa.
Mansur tried to approach the kittens once. The cat slapped him on the face, like, stay away, and he never approached these kittens anymore.
Whoa, he is amazing. Mansur, you are a huge boy.
Why are you clattering, huh?
He thinks, who are these trespassers? What are they doing in my property? You mentioned the hunting dogs training station. And what point did you feel that something was wrong there?
We tried to find a place for the bear. Zoologist would not take him, so we looked for another opinion. The owner of the airfield was told that there was a place at the wildlife reserve. Mansur was less than a year old. Well, we have taken care of him from the start. So when at the airfield we were told that the bear had been taken to a reserve, it was only natural for us to visit him. Any dog breeder would want to know where his dog's puppies are, in what conditions they are kept. With us, it was the same.
In what condition he lives?
Let's go and see in what conditions he lives, just to put our mind at rest. Moreover, the behavior of people who looks him seemed somewhat disturbing. When we started to make inquiries, these people seemed evasive. They suggested we come later. Well, then we learned from other pilots where the bear cub appeared. Whenever a bear cub shows up one way or another, it becomes known throughout the region. We found out a bear cub very similar to ours had appeared at the hunting dog training station located not far from here, on the border of Kaluga and Bryansk regions. So we went there and took him away.
How did Mansur behave when he realized that you had come to take him away? What were his emotions? What state was he in?
He had not been used for training dogs, as he was still small, but he was sitting in a small cage, all, pardon my language, covered in shit. Therefore, when they let him out, he clucked to my legs, hugged my legs, and he almost cried like a child. We washed him right away, and then, as we were driving, he was sitting in the car and for 2 hours looked out the window. He was looking out the window like a human being. Then he got tired of it. We drove for 4 hours. We gave him yogurt. He drank yogurt. Once we arrived at the airfield, the first thing the bear cub did was to rush to his booth to see if anyone had occupied it. I have been observing him for 6 years. Based on this, I can say that the bear experiences almost the same feelings and emotions as the human. I am absolutely sure of it. Its intellect is highly developed. I would say that the bear is a highly developed animal. Mansur invents something, he builds some kind of logical chain. He is very observant animal. He gains knowledge. Communicating with him, we see that he is watching people and their activities. Suppose Dima is building something. The bear is watching, then he will try to reproduce his actions. He is clumsy, but he tries to repeat. Yes, repeat movements. If you are digging, he will start digging too. If you dig with a shovel, if you give him a shovel, he will try to take this shovel just like a human. Turn it over like this, push it into the ground, so that's better. This is the animal that learns. I promote the idea that bear hunting should be limited, or, still better, banned. They should have the same status as dolphins. Dolphin hunting is banned because these animals are highly intellectually developed. The same is the bear. Besides, as I have studied this issue, I can state that the bear does not attack humans. It is not an aggressive towards humans. It will rather try to hide. It is a very cautious, careful animal. We are already collecting statistics, studying this topic. Bear aggression is associated with human activities. It may occur when the bear is hurt, wounded as a victim of hunting, or the bear may perceive some human action as threatening its children. That is, when mother bear notices a man standing between her and her cubs. Naturally, the mother is worried, or when the bear was deprived of its habitat. Helicopter pilots, my friends who work in the Magadan region, told me about an interesting case. Once they saw two men on the ground waving their T-shirts and took them on board. Both had been wounded by a bear. One man died during the transportation. The second one survived. It turned out that the man had been perching. As they were going on a boat down the river, they saw a bear that was fishing, and they shot at the animal and missed. The bear ran away. They went farther on and the river made a bend. As they passed it, they encountered the bear watching for them. In general, this is comparable to human behavior. If they shoot at you, you will naturally defend yourself and try to somehow punish your offender to take revenge.
Andrew, Mansur's house is located in the area of the airfield. How did it happen and how does it relate to you?
Initially, being a private pilot, I was based at the Orlovka airfield, and our 214 Chris was stationed there, and the bear was found there. Then we relocate here. Naturally, the bear moved with us to this airfield. And now I spend my day off at the airfield, performing flights, meaning the bear. In general, this place provides relaxation for all of us after a busy week in Moscow. This airfield is owned and operated by the public organization Albatros Aero, which develops the airfield. There are L-29, L-39 planes stationed here. Besides, a museum is being created here. There is a Mi-10 helicopter, the last machine to work in as a crane in Moscow. There is a MiG-25 as well, a Tu-134 brought from Khadurka airfield.
The one over here?
Yes, it has not yet been completed. Some work still has to be done. But it is preserved here as a museum piece, to be shown to people. Besides, there is a Uniki Il-14 aircraft, the world's last flying aircraft. That is, there is one such aircraft in St. Petersburg, and we have it too. Il-14 is the swan song of piston aviation. Il-14 was the first aircraft to open regular passenger transportation in the USSR. It provided the development of Arctic and Antarctica.
What planes do you fly?
Today, Russian planes are not operated in Antarctica. I fly my own small Cessna 150. Besides, there is an N2 in the joint ownership and an Il-14.
Can you show them your planes?
Of course. This is the N2 aircraft, which is the four of us bought together through the action. The Republic of Karelia was selling planes that had worked for forest protection. We bought, repaired and upgraded it. We traveled to the Arctic, we flew to the Belly Island.
Wow, Arctic.
This plane is great on skis. So we flew to Norian Mar, then Amderma, then the Bailey Island. We flew around Elbrus on this plane, to the Crimea through the central part of Russia. It is the best aircraft for team traveling. We installed big wheels, so we fly to the Aka, which is nearby just to have a swim. It's better than driving by a car. In the summer, driving a car would take a couple of hours. But we jump on a board. The capacity of the plane is 10 people. 10 minutes later, we land on the banks of the Aka River. After swimming, we return to the airfield. So we can go swimming like this within one day. This plane is very comfortable. This plane is ideal for team traveling as well. You can be standing on the board, you can fly for 8 hours. And most importantly, the pilots can change during the flight. You can cook food, you can sleep and eat on board. So such an aircraft is second to none for team traveling around the country. You can land on a short runway, 400 meters, even less. At 300 meters, you can both land and take off. You can even land on the meadow, like we do when we fly for a swim. The aircraft is unique, simple, reliable.
He is in rat now. How does the state manifest itself?
Well, he becomes more irritable, and of course, he begins protecting his area more actively. Therefore, now myself, I enter his area for a very short time, not to get on his nerves. As soon as this frat is over, normal communication will be resumed.
How does the bear's character change over the years?
He becomes calmer. At 1 year of age, his mood tended to swing. He would be playing with a toy. Then it would occur to him, I'm hungry. And in a moment he turns into a beast that can grab your leg, something like that. Once he is giving a bowl of food, he would eat it and resume his game. In the second year, his attitude to food became more reserved with food. He became more like a teenager. Oh, you are handsome, Mansur. Handsome. Well, now he's calmer. Like a human, he becomes calmer, more reasonable.
When a bear stands up on his hind legs, what does it mean?
He's interested, he looks, compares his hate with the hate of the person. Whoever is taller is more important.
Who's general?
Yes, it shows. Plus, he wants to... That is, let's say, someone is walking from afar. He can stand up, look out from behind a tree, consider who is walking there. The animal is very cautious, neat.
What food does Mansur like? How much food does he need?
It all depends on the season. That is, in winter the bear either does not eat at all, or eats very little, even if it is not hibernating. It is the same the spring. These days we cook a pot of soup, a pot of porridge for him, and we gave him fruits and vegetables and nuts. In the second half of summer, the bear starts gaining body mass. Mansur can eat 4 or 5 watermelon, a box of apples, all at once. He adores tomatoes. In August, he enjoys eating watermelons. So it depends on the season. In August, he needs to gain weight, gain fat for the winter. Therefore, the bear eats everything. Naturally, it is difficult for a bear to find watermelons with tomatoes in this area. They can't get fish in local rivers either. Local bears eat basically all sorts of fruits, plants, ants.
Loves ants.
Mansur loves ants. That is, when he was a little, we went for a walk in the forest. He found an anthill, he climbed in there, stirred up this anthill, sitting in it, eating ants, enjoying himself. Then we found a Gelder rose bush. He tore all the whole bush. So it's very interesting to walk through the forest with him when he was small, 1-2 years old, and watch him. Here again, he finds something, starts digging, eating. He's afraid of getting lost. We didn't need any leash to walk in the forest with him. This is his inborn feature. Genetically, he mustn't lose his mother and remain alone. And it was impossible to get him leashed to go to the forest. He would oppose, pull the leash. But you can enter a dialogue with him. Offer a swap like with a human. A real dialogue. Mansur, catch up, come on. I'll show you something. and he will follow you into out of the forest. This is a miracle. A lot of people communicate with dogs, either in childhood or as adults. If a dog is on a leash, you can pull, and it will walk with you. And if you pull Mansur, a bear by the leash, he will resist. He won't follow you. Starting a dialogue is an instrument to make him do what you want. I have no idea how he understands what you want him to do. Besides, he shows a very interesting response to your psychological state. He copies you. If he feels that you are afraid of him, he will immediately try to dominate. During the first year of life, if he saw a person who was afraid of him, he would immediately try to grab them by the leg to show that he is the boss, he is stronger. If you communicate with him on an equal footing, show respect, friendly positive communication will develop. Another peculiarity, Mansur is not greedy for food. Unlike a spaniel that will keep eating, no matter how much food you give him, the bear will only eat as much as it needs.
How much does he weigh now?
Last time we weighed him, he weighed around 260 kilograms.
After hibernation? Before his weight was 300 kilos.
219 kilograms. We are going to weigh out little bear. Here, he steps on the scales, and I will step off the scales. How much does this body weigh?
260.
260 kilograms. The weight of this little bear is 260 kilograms. We have scales here in the enclosure. He weighs himself every time he passes here. You can watch it online.
By the way, how can one follow his life? How can people watch Mansur even if they live overseas?
We were very interesting ourselves. However, one can stay near the bear and watch him around the clock. So we installed cameras. The people who visited him when he was a little asked for his photos. So they can observe Mansur's life on the YouTube. There is a live broadcast 24/7. This is very interesting because it enables you to see this animal world not like in a zoo, but almost in a natural environment. Besides the bear, you can observe the world around him. We saw a whistle that visited Mansur and caught mice. We saw foxes, which also entered the bear's enclosure at night. They are foxes living at the airfield and you could see them. Hedgehogs, we have seen a lot of others.
Andrew, how do you communicate with the bear? What was it like when he was little? What is it like now?
He is a social animal, and he misses company. He gets very absent when he doesn't meet you for a long time. When he was little, he lost his mother too early. As soon as you came to him, he would suck your hand. He would suck, purr, and he could suck for half an hour or 40 minutes. He hasn't sucked my hand for a long time. Again, like in childhood.
He is still a child.
No, he is becoming an adult. It is the first time for him to do so, but it's because he missed me. But in the second year, in the third year, he didn't less often. When he was little, he would be sucking the hand for half an hour. But this year it has not occurred so often. When you enter his enclosure, he will do it for a very short time. He is growing up, it calmed him down, and he did his best to show that he had felt lonesome. He enjoys wrestling. We did it in the first and second years of life. It had been somehow acceptable until he was about 2. In the second year, the bear already becomes stronger than an adult.
And for weight too.
And now that he weighs 3 times heavier than myself, wrestling has become problematic.
Yeah, wrong weight categories.
Yes, wrong weight classes.
But technically.
He loses in wrestling technically, but he just crushes you in terms of strength and mass. If you are under him, he will not eat or tear you, but you are feel like a worm that has been crushed and you can't get out from under him. And he doesn't understand why you are twitching. In the third year, you could tickle him and he would leave you. And later, he didn't didn't even respond to it. In the third year, he was already an adult, a strong animal. It became clear that he needs an enclosure. The money was raised from all over the world. The construction was started in a new place. And the enclosure has been built by the end of the summer. Our next task was, the bear is naturally a very clean animal. If you see a stinking, dirty bear, it means it is kept in poor conditions and malnourished. Initially, he had a bath, so the first thing he would do every morning was to wash and rub himself there.
Ah, an ordinary bathtub.
Yes, an ordinary human cast iron bathtub. Somebody brought it from their flat because Mansur needs some kind of reservoir. Later, he outgrew his bath. He would pull it out and play with it. So we had to build a pool, as there is no pond here. Once again, we did the fundraising. People donated as they saw that the bear really needs water by his behavior. We collected money all over the internet, and now we have built a pool. The pool is very similar to a human pool, but there are no decorative tiles. There will be a grotto, a fountain with drinking water. Everything will be beautiful. The pool is equipped with a cleaning system, like a human one. And the bear, he was so happy. Here you can watch archival videos. He literally does not get out of the pool. He went there with toys, and so I swam with him. He just enjoyed it in hot water. The bear starts his bathing season as soon as the snow starts melting. That is, there are still pieces of ice floating, and he is already splashing in the water. And he swims until late autumn, until it freezes. He loves water. He loves live buoys. He swims with them, plays with them, and put them on himself. He feels that it can be done somehow. He wants to push some object through live buoy. Here has a cube, but it wouldn't pass through the live buoy. It seems to fit, but the task can't be completed. And Mansur is trying to solve this logical problem, to push it through.
Andrew, I am extremely glad to meet you. You are really a very cardinal person, you have a unique path. And myself, I was really carried away when I saw the plains, I just got lost here. You have a real treasure island here. It's a pity the weather has let us down a little.
Well, the weather must be improved, so come again in good weather. We will launch the pool in about a month. There will be a lot of greenery, there will be flights. Come at the weekend, we will be very glad to see you.
Okay, agreed. Guys, below in the description there is a link to Andrew's channel. Please subscribe to it. Indeed, Andrew has a lot of interesting things. Let's help him get the golden button. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, make reposts on social networks, be as active as usual. James Miller channel and the Mansur channel were with you. See you soon, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Guys, thank you for viewing. This issue didn't include all the materials. I posted some shots on my Instagram account. Follow my Instagram account, James Miller. There is plenty of exciting stuff. Next week we will be posting a video on this channel about how we visited a hermit who has been living in the Russian forest for 6 years. Follow my YouTube channel to avoid skipping this video and follow my Instagram account, James Miller. Let's be friends on Instagram too. Thank you guys and see you soon.